because we can think we know what we like, but we come into the world not always knowing what's on the menu.
Oh, that's exactly right.
Right?
Oh my God. Okay, now I'm going to introduce you.
Okay.
So for fuck's sake, I am here today with Miss Christina Sophie, and she is a certified somatica relationship coach and clinical sexologist. And this was her beginning of making you feel really good about whatever makes you feel good.
Yeah.
So what are the most common complaints that people come to you with, Christina?
Well, this is true across all kinds of sex therapy or sex education or sexual consulting. I deal mostly with older adults, and by older adults, I mean like over 35, who are in relationships. And so in that sphere, what most sexologists and sex therapists are going to hear is mismatched desire. Because it's the most, I almost said the most natural fucking thing. Are you going to have to bleep me? Am I going to
I have to bleep my fucking self. My podcast has the F word.
It's the most natural fucking thing in the whole world. Because anyone who shows up authentically with another person who shows up authentically is going to hit little incompatibilities.
Of course.
Particularly as intimacy develops and you become even more yourself, you become even more seen and more known, you're going to bump up against like all the social masks that are going to come up, and you're going to bump up against incompatibilities. And so the most natural thing in the world for people who are in any long-term erotic relationship, whether they're open, whether they're monogamous, whether they're monogamish, no matter what the structure, people are going to encounter incompatibilities. The other thing is our desires and our pleasure and our capacity for pleasure and our wiring for pleasure evolves over the life cycle. Okay. So you could be like practically here with someone. I usually describe like a good relationship is here. If you're looking. People can make it work here.
At least one cog.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as these cogs aren't critical.
Okay.
Some people.
Oh, that's interesting.
It matters how much incompatibility you can tolerate in your nervous system without freaking.
And you're talking about like frequency, quality, like number of desires, energy, all those things.
Oh, even bigger. Because for most of us, in fact, I'm trained not to say all of us, but this is the closest I would ever come to saying everyone. Let's say almost everyone goes to sex for emotional feelings first. Not just sexual genital feelings. And that the emotion is the doorway into the sexual feeling. So these incompatibilities certainly could be in terms of frequency. Yes, of course, that's what happens most. Incompatibilities in terms of what kind of sex you like. Someone might like really soft, slow sex. Someone might like really passionate, intense, like throw you up against the wall sex. So those, of course, classic incompatibilities. But also there can be an incompatibility in one of my favorite couples I worked with. They were so fucking brilliant. And so one of them was so brilliant. And she would come in and say, I think I'd like to have sex now. What do you think? I think intercourse sounds good and maybe some nipple play. And her partner was just like, ugh.
You have to talk about this.
I've never heard. Like you could have had everything you wanted. If you would have
I'm like,
I don't know, it's like, or if you just come in and said, hey, you want some sexy time? Like, it's like, really? That's what shut you off? But yeah, that's what shut this person off.
Oh.
With me? And I'm like, what are you talking about? You both are like clinical master. What are you talking about? But that's an example. That's an example of an incompatibility that is so simple when it's exposed as this is normal.
Yeah.
But what happens is people have been living, in this case, these people have been living with this for over a decade.
Okay.
And then been sneakily kind of judging each other. Why are you so clinical? What the hell's wrong with you? That's not very sexy. Why are you saying you want more sex? I'm totally available for more sex. Why haven't you asked? I asked. Why don't you want sex with me? Yeah. I mean, just so these incompatibilities turn into judgments, turn into misinterpretations, and it's all emotional.
Right. And then there's this pain, right? There's these pains and these wounds and these scars that have been formed because they haven't been speaking the same language. And so you go in there and help interpret for them, right?
Absolutely. And here's where I think you come in, Cari, doctor. Here's where I think you come in, is those emotional things start building up and they have somatic expressions. So you might have somebody who's been having, let's say somebody with a vulva has been having not very satisfying sex for a long time, but it's connective and it makes their partner happy and it makes them happy because their partner's happy. And then suddenly the tissues in the vaginal wall start to change over the life cycle as someone ages.
Yes. Yeah.
And then what was fine, maybe even lovely and connecting and not the wild, not the best, whatever, I don't look the best, I'm busy, it's fine, becomes absolutely unacceptable.
Oh, yeah.
Because the tissues aren't having it. Absolutely.
Exactly.
You got to work up here before the tissues will even consider you.
Yeah. And so then I come in and we talk about what's been going on and we take their age into consideration and their periods and their history and all of that stuff. And then see would some kind of medication help with that? Because I feel like you get into a cycle, right? You aren't having great sex, and so you might not be having a whole lot of sex, and it's not really satisfying, and so your vulva is changing, and so now it doesn't feel good, so you're having even less sex.
Exactly.
Right? And then it feels even worse, and you've got to have breaks in that cycle.
You do, and you talk to all your girlfriends, and they say, oh, it's happening to us too, and you talk to your doctor, Cari, who's got Christina in the back of her head saying,
oh, yeah.
Yes, I'm going to give you all of the hormones and all of the cream and all of the testosterone up the nose. I'm going to give you all of that. And you need to know that just fixes the tissue. Mm-hmm. That's not going to fix the person who's been having not the greatest sex for a while. Right. You got to handle that too.
The tissue and the issue.
Yes, the issues and the tissues and the tissues. Yeah, because here's the thing, after being on the planet for a long time, 4 or 5 decades, you start having really low tolerance for bullshit. So
ain't that the truth?
Oh my God. So, let's say, I mean, and I'm talking personally, honest to God, I deal with this all day, but this is also personal. My sexuality, I almost didn't recognize myself sexually after menopause. And I'm like, who is this body? It changed so dramatically from a body that really enjoyed passionate, intense physicality. Throw me around and do it hard and all of this stuff. And then I'm like, okay, well, that's what I like, and I know it, and this is my business, and I know myself, and I'm not lying to anyone. I know I like that. So the tissues change. I go to my version of Dr. Cari. She says, don't worry, I've got it handled. We're going to give you all the stuff. And all the stuff fixes me. Stuff doesn't hurt anymore.
Yeah.
But it's still not right.
This guy. Yeah.
I don't want to feel what I used to need to feel. Mm-hmm. I used to need to feel all that intensity to believe that I was desirable. Now I already believe it. I got a partner who's just fucking adorable and so good and loves me and, all the things. So I don't need to believe I'm desirable anymore. And after that's handled, I didn't know who I was.
That's such a beautiful transition. And you actually kind of got to re-explore and reinvent yourself. Well, you got to, and you had to, because it's that or dry up and blow away, right? Exactly.
And it was really fucking depressing and confusing.
Yes.
For a while. I was like, what's wrong with me? My whole gestalt on this planet has been about eroticism, not just sexuality, but just capital E, eroticism. And when it went away, or I thought it went away, it changed. But I didn't know, because I'd never experienced anything like this being erotic. What do you mean walking around the lake and getting ASMR by the trees is hot? I thought it was just being
Oh
this.
no, I needed that.
Exactly. I thought it was just being this weird, spiritual fucking California hippie. And yes, I was. And when I got some good coaching, and my coaching practice evolved enormously when I went through this transition.
Doesn't it help so much to like have walked in those shoes of other people that you're then talking to, and you're like, ooh, that sounds so familiar. I've got some ideas about that.
Well, that must have happened to you, Dr. Cari, right? I mean, is there some similarity, like, oh, I got you, sister, I know exactly what you're feeling?
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, I was very late to the game as far as understanding my own sexual desires and not being so puritanical about things. I was incredibly like non-exploratory, vanilla, straight ahead. This is how we do things.
Things change.
And mostly pleasure for my partners and not really pleasure because pleasuring my partners was what I thought brought the most pleasure to me, right?
Yes.
Turns out you can have both. What? Like you can give pleasure and look to receive pleasure, or even say that's actually what's happening. Go for it for yourself. And so that transition happened really late in life. And honestly, I ignored my own perimenopause symptoms for 8 years. 8 years. And I just thought, I have a super hard job. I'm in a difficult relationship. My kid is like a pain, and I've got these stepkids right now. And I thought it was all just rolled into, this is the stage of life that's happening right now, and I need to suck it up. Yep. And then it was actually a friend of mine who was telling me, oh, I saw Kevin, a guy that we worked with, about perimenopause, and he started me on some hormones. And within a week, I sent my husband in because I'm like, you're not going to be able to keep up. And he's 9 years younger than her. And I was like, what are you talking about? You're so much younger than I am, and this is crazy, and what are you saying? And we don't need to do this. I was like, okay, well, maybe if it helped a little bit. And so I messaged Kevin, and he was like, well, why don't I just send you for labs and not even see you? But like, if the labs are off, then come in and see me and we'll discuss what's going on.
Yeah.
And he calls me back and he's like, so your estrogen level is non-detectable. Like, you're not going through perimenopause. You done.
Menopause, honey.
You've been done. It's all gone. Your testosterone is like barely anything.
Oh,
and so yeah, I'm like a little worried about what that did for my cardiovascular health, what that did for my bone density.
Thank you for saying that. I hope everyone's listening, that this is so much more than just sex. Not that sex isn't the most important thing, but the other things.
The hidden things, the secret things that are going to be a problem down the road. And they're starting to find out in research that treating perimenopause earlier helps with cardiovascular and bone health. And it isn't just stopping your crazy pills, like you just have the brain fog and you can't figure out anything, and you're losing things, and you can't concentrate, and your mood is all over the place, and you're having a great time, and then you're going to kill somebody. And it's like all over the map. I mean, that's your present moment that you want to fix and have more control and support over, whether you're taking hormones or not.
Yeah.
But like, it's the secret stuff in 15, 20, 25 years that if you didn't treat that, you kind of, the window is closed. So that's kind of, I don't know. I have a lot of mixed feelings about that, because I like the idea of going on natural and, getting help from someone like yourself and other therapists to navigate your way through this life change. There couldn't be anything more normal. We don't talk about like, you shouldn't have puberty, like you're going crazy, and that shouldn't be. So this is just the opposite of that.
Right.
But we get all judgy about it and judge ourselves and feel badly about it, which is silly. But dang, I mean, the research is really showing that if you can take the hormones, that increases your quality of life and your longevity going forward. Maybe you don't break a hip and fall down and get pneumonia and die as early.
Right.
Maybe you don't get urinary tract infections and get septic and die early.
Exactly.
So,
and it's so integrated because I mean, when I learned about this research, and I don't have it as deep, I just read it very superficial. It just struck me how unconscionable, what bad care our mothers and our grandmothers got, what bad geriatric care.
yes. Horrendous.
And the fact that it is all about this time in life that no one ever talked about.
Right. I mean, and they weren't allowed to even discuss it. Like, you did not talk about things like that. My mom had an entire, like, everybody calls it a complete hysterectomy, but what she had was her uterus, her ovaries, and her tubes. Everything, the whole shittery, removed at the age of 41. So, like, she probably wasn't even perimenopausal because she had just been pregnant with my brother. So she had been lactating, like her hormones are all over the place, right? Like, hard to say what exactly was happening as far as menopause. But yeah, they just took everything out and slapped her on the ass and sent her home.
With no therapeutics, no
Nothing.
No replacement hormones?
No.
And did she turn up at 55 with horrible osteoporosis? And
luckily she's an athlete, and so she falls down a lot playing sports, softball and basketball mostly, and now pickleball. And so her bone density isn't actually that bad, but it's only because she is a consummate athlete and works out, 3-6 days a week.
That's where you get those shoulders from.
But I mean, the fact that people would not say, hey, we're going to take out the glands that make all of your hormones, and overnight you're like, this isn't perimenopause where you kind of like do this as you're heading into it. It was just like, bam, gone. And nobody did a damn thing.
It's incredible. I mean, I know doctors. I know you're not like constitutionally uncaring people. Quite the opposite. To me, this speaks of some systemic upgrade that needs to happen in terms of research. I mean, isn't there some truth that a lot of medical research isn't even done on female and male bodies? It's all male, or there's not gender. What am I reading out there?
Over 90% of all medical studies have been done on men between the ages of 18 to 25 who are in the military. And then you're just supposed to extrapolate out to, well, I mean, most women are, 70 to 80% of a man's volume. And so we're just going to take it down to that. And then little kids. And I'm like, our metabolism is completely different. Our physiology is completely different. Our needs and how we handle medication is completely different.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking this on.
Ah!
No, we need more voices in media talking about this clearly so we can normalize it. We're living longer than we ever have. This is actually short how long we've lived. 200 years ago, both of us be dead.
Well, and that's my argument, is that menopause wasn't talked about and nothing was done about it because you had your kids at 13 to 15, you had your grandkids at 30 to 35, you kind of handed down the wisdom and the lore, and you pieced out at 42. So you didn't really have to worry about this, right?
I don't have to worry about all this. Yeah, and so when I think about it that way, I don't think it, the hippie in me who wants to be all natural doesn't, like, this whole shebang is not natural. None of this is natural. I mean, if you want to think of it that way, like caveman style. But so in the life change for me, and I imagine for you, once I got on hormone replacement therapy, it's just dramatic. But there's one other thing I want to say about how hormone replacement therapy, you're right, people would come to me and go, what's wrong? And let's say I'm old school, 2 generations back, and I'm a sex therapist from the 60s, and I didn't know, because no one knew, that it needs to be an integrated approach, that you and I need to work together.
Yeah, I love that.
Probably with trainers, like, what we need? How they have law practices?
Oh, yes.
Right?
Multidisciplinary practice.
Multidisciplinary practice.
Yes.
All elements, and clients are taken in and sent to the specialists they need in the moment, but are watched over by some case managers. Like, probably some strength training would help here too. And then, Cari, can you look at these labs? And then we work together on skills.
Oh my gosh.
Skills, energy feeling skills, how to literally feel your body in a new, oh my God, let's do it.
Can you imagine the increase in the quality of life? And honestly, not just for the people that we would be seeing in our practices, but the people around them, their friends and family. Like, Go
ahead.
They'd be the ones who are like, oh my God, I totally love your shirt. Your smile is so cute. I love your hair. Like, they would be those people on the street, right? How does that not make the community better?
Make the community better. Yeah, we got us wise oldsters. Like, I got all kinds of information to share, and now I got the energy to share it.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, the productivity is up.
And here's what I'd want when we create this practice. Here's what I'd want. I'd want some researchers to come in. Because, they've already got all that blue zone research about the importance of social connections, about the importance of purpose, about people live to 100, not just with a good diet,
right,
but also with a sense of purpose and connection. Got it. The other thing I'd love to know is, I bet you anything, pleasure has something to do with it.
I mean, if you have something like that to look forward to that is going to feel good, and then, you physiologically get all the happy juices flowing, and that keeps you younger and gives you more action and energy, there's no downside.
There's no downside.
There's no downside to any of that. Mm-mm. And so when people come to you, do they come on their own? Do they come with partners, or is it a mix of both?
Both and all. Yeah, both and all. Here's the thing. Once the longer you get into a practice, you tend to get the more challenging cases. So for a sex coach, a sex and relationship coach, it tends to start out with individuals. There may be some couples, and then it shifts. Mostly couples, some individuals. But And the main thing where my heart is right now is I train sex coaches through the Somatica Institute,
right,
which is where I got trained and where my practice, because I started out as a hands-on clinical sexologist, which you could sort of think of as, we called it sexological body work. And for a while, it was a certified, legitimate modality in the state of California. And it was about hands-on understanding of the nervous system's response to arousal, your unique nervous system's response to arousal, following arousal. So I was seeing a lot more of the cases that people like you would throw to me, honestly. I worked with a lot of pelvic floor physical therapists, doctors, when there's vaginal pain, when there's erectile issues, when there's injury, deep pelvic injury, where the physical therapist would deal with that part, and I would deal with the nervous system of arousal. And then it just didn't feel like enough, or I developed as a practitioner, and people started trusting me with more, honestly, relationship issues. And I needed to get training. So, I went the traditional psychotherapy route. But it was frustrating because it was so theoretical. It didn't feel like it met my practice where I was needing, and that's where by this gift, I found the Somatica Institute, which is it should be called the modality made specifically for Christina Institute, because it was hands-on, it was embodied, mutually vulnerable, skills-based, practical-based ways of learning to relate with self and learning to relate with a sexual partner. And it blew my mind. And I had a lot of people who just trusted me, who used me sort of as a trusted container for their challenges. And bodywork is an amazing way to work through challenges. It's okay, let's talk about the challenges. Now let's relax the body and relax the area. That alone is psychotherapeutic. It's somatics. It's the hottest thing now, right? Somatics, because it's true and it works. But Somatica allowed me to move in a way that suits my nature, which is interactive. Whereas as an intimacy coach, I bring my nervous system into the learning relationship with you. So while if you're my client, it's your goals, it's your interests, it's your growing edges, it's your trajectory that runs the show. If there's any way in which me using my nervous system on the behalf of what you want to know is helpful, I bring it. So let's say you're dating or you're starting to have sex with women and you're like, I don't know what's happening. And we start, okay, well, let's play with some erotic energy and let's see what it's like. And I'll say, well, this is how it lands on my nervous system. This is just me, but I need to go really slow. And you may say to me, well, Christina, I'm a passionate woman. I just want to go. And I say, fuck yeah, that's awesome. And if you were trying to seduce me, it wouldn't work. But there are plenty of women it would work on. And maybe we could expand your vocabulary of seduction. Mm-hmm. Teaching you how to seduce me.
Right. Oh my gosh. Like, that speaks to me being, a single woman at this age dating, because some people are just, they seem so hard-headed. Yeah. Like they come at me with something abrasive and I'm like, that's not so great. And then they try it again. I'm like, but what I said was, right? And then they try it again. I'm all blocked. Like I tried to help you twice, but I think that vocabulary that you're talking about and kind of the tension, the flirting, like whatever that scene is that you're trying to create, if you're not getting feedback from the other side that this is working, change your tactic. But that takes so much emotional intelligence and insight that I don't think many people have.
No, you're right. I always joke, it's not 2.0, it's 3.0. The level of maturity it takes to be a really good lover while staying really authentic to what you want and teaching people how to love you. Yeah. Because it's a mutual thing. It's like, if you were my client, I'd be like, but Cari, I want to know how to love you. You like it passionate? Let me throw some things at you and see if you like it. Like, let's get really clear about the energy you like so that you can name it and you can teach me how to do it. And then I'll teach you how to do me.
That vulnerability, I mean, do you just have people in there like, I don't even know how I got here. I'm not going to be able to do any of this. I can't talk about any of it. Like, how do you soften people and make them feel safe and secure so that they're able to get squishy? Slowly.
Yeah, this rarely is a one and done. Although I do have some clients where it's just pure education and it's so much fun. Like, clients sometimes will come in either from arranged marriages, even from cultures where there's not a lot of a dating culture, or a lot of sex ed culture. For some reason, I really love working with very conservative religious people because I have a very spiritual background. So the language translates. So a lot of times it really is just sex education. Here's how your body works. This is what a clitoris looks like. And you're allowed to slow down and take a break and say, can we take a breath here? Can we not be so goal-oriented? And then their minds just blow. And it's like, wow, that's amazing. And everything gets better. And it's so fun. And I'm like, yay, I had no idea. Like, I wouldn't even thought to say that. Because it's so like everything I'm swimming in. You can kind of forget how bad the sex education is out there. But what you're talking about, grown-ups, us, when people like you and I come into my office, that's when a lot of the therapeutic training comes in. It's like, we want to create safety. I could probably play with you in ways that would like curl other people's hair, where I would have to really tone it down and tune to a different kind of pacing.
That's an amazing intelligence that you have to be able to like understand the person sitting in front of you and like how hard you can push, how fast you can go, how wide, the area, the playing field is. And
well, lucky for me, that's my kink. I mean, it literally turns me on. I want to get inside your head and see what makes you tick. Like, I get off on that. And I love teaching people that skill. I mean, that's often what I say. I want to teach you to think like a sex coach.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Internalize my voice. What would Christina say here? Particularly just downloading this nervous system of really normalizing sexual messiness.
Right? I don't know where I got my whole puritanical, can't talk about it, don't explore, don't experiment. I don't know where that came from. Because my parents weren't particularly open, but they weren't completely judgmental or, didn't touch each other. Like my mom was always sitting on my dad's lap and like they hugged and kissed and they were, they were not disgusting in their PDA. It wasn't shocking or alarming or anything like that. But they clearly liked to touch each other and everybody around them knew that. And so I don't know what screwed into my brain that I wasn't going to be like that. I used to not hold hands with people. A little grandma kiss would be good for hello and goodbye. And there wasn't any. The only time I was sexual was in bed or like, we're going to have sex. So now I'm in there. But other than that, I didn't want any physical touch. And then when I was with my boyfriend / the man I ended up marrying, he was too far like that, where there was absolutely nothing. And I felt like he wasn't attracted to me. I didn't feel desired. I didn't feel seen or appreciated or anything like that. And so I tried a couple of times, very poorly, I'm sure, to express that I needed a little, like, as we walk through the door, or a little, rub on the back or squeeze my arm or something. And for years, it just didn't happen, like there was no move from either of us to make that happen. And that wasn't the demise of the marriage, but it certainly did not help. Sure. But it's so, like, even if we would have found you, there were too many other things that were foundationally not gonna jive between the two of us. But yeah. So how do people find you and people like yourself, people in your world?
I have no fucking idea. I'm not on social media. I have a little website. I have a little corner of the internet that's probably like the equivalent of being at the edge of the damn universe. I don't know how they found me. I'll tell you how they found me. So obviously I've been doing this a while. So I'm known in communities. I'm known as a teacher. Mm-hmm. I'm known in various, I've led some in-person communities. And then of course clients and anybody in a kind of, what do you call what we do? Like a personal consulting business. Everything's about referrals. Everything.
Yeah. Word
of mouth. Because when you're talking with someone about something as intimate as sexuality, it's hard to go on the internet. Even when someone has an amazing presentation that seems like it's talking just to you, it's like, yeah, doctor, whoever you are, I'm sure you're great. But my friend, who's much happier now, this chick who I can barely even find on the internet, but loves her, I want her.
Yeah, every time.
So, and therapists and doctors. So almost always through somebody's trusted referral. But now, I hired this sweet little hippie to write the secret language under my website to make SEO find me.
Okay.
I've got people find me off the what sounds like off the street, and I'm like, I say this every time. I am amazed that you're trusting me with this information. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So something about what I'm putting out is because what people share with me is amazing.
Right. It's the deep, dark, nitty gritty.
They do it with you too, right? Because again, you're a doctor.
That definitely helps. Yeah. I think that helps, but it's not the end of it. I still think it's who you present yourself as and the relationship that you try to establish from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I think, people are going to find that you're warm and funny and safe and knowledgeable. And so then they'll start to ease into, it's going to be okay if I actually like verbalize what is happening in here, because that's so scary. So scary.
I'm sorry, there's a part of my mind that's so like going, what's going on with Dr. Cari? Where did the puritanical, because you had something that's so special. Like, thank your mom and dad. The fact that they were physical and you knew you liked to touch each other, what a gift.
Mm-hmm.
What a gift.
60 years. And still would hold hands. Oh, yeah.
Hold hands. That is so rare.
Mm-hmm. It really is. And it was such a beautiful thing to see them grow old and still be close. Because I think a lot of couples, you just get to that point where it's grin and bear it, right? Like,
I know.
Yeah, we got another decade to get through. Can we just knuckle down and grit our teeth? And it's like everybody around that sees it and feels it, and it's unpleasant and awkward. And so when you see like that little old couple that are shuffling along and holding hands, it's like,
I love it so much. I love it so much. Oh my God. I remember going up to this adorable older couple, like much like gray hair older couple, like a little bit tottery, going up to them on Valentine's Day. I'm like, you guys are so cute. You're my heroes. And then out of the blue, like, how did they know? Out of the blue, they like, you know what? This was her. She said, we still have sex. You wouldn't believe how much lube we go through. I'm like, and this was in a restaurant. I'm like, put my arm out. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. I am so glad you told me that. And I walked away and I'm like, how did they know they could tell me that? They probably tell everybody, and I hope they do. I hope they
do too. I hope they shock the shit out of a whole bunch of people who start going, oh my God, like, I'm not even doing that. Maybe
exactly.
I need to.
Exactly. And like, I want to find them and have them on your show. These are the people we need to talk to.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely.
I want to say one thing though, because I think your experience named something that's very true about my business that people don't know. And that's that sexuality it's not just an interdisciplinary discipline. Like it's so everything.
Yes.
It's so everything. It's so we can, like your experience, having this amazing mother and father enjoying each other physically, affectionately, but still there can be this sort of somehow downloaded this message. And like where I go with that, it makes me wonder if it felt safe or even powerful. Because sexuality kind of takes a lot of vulnerability.
I'm not good at that.
Well, there's probably a really good reason why.
Yeah.
You're probably where you are because you were kind of not too vulnerable and had it together. And I imagine you've overcome a lot to be where you are.
Yeah. And there was a lot of our family dynamics besides my parents. Just a lot of brothers and not quite enough for everybody to go around, that kind of thing. Like, I think there was just some scarcity there. And I was the only girl. And so I had to really fight to be seen and to be important and to matter, and to be considered, because it was a battle in there. And so I think I carried a lot of that, like, I got to be perfect. I got to do it right. I have to do it every time. Like, just that perfectionistic super type A situation, giving me a stubbornness and stick-to-itiveness that gets dysfunctional, honestly.
Yeah.
So there's no way I'm going to be vulnerable and tell people like,
right.
Oh, this hurts, or I'm scared of that. I'm just like, ugh. And so that has changed in the last, 5 or 6 years. I'm more aware of it and I'm working on it. But it's hard. It's really hard work.
Well, sure it is. And also we got to thank it. We got to give credit where it's due. I mean, look where you are now. You're a fucking doctor. You're impressive as hell. So it's not like it didn't do nothing.
Right.
Like it clearly served you.
It's funny because I tell people all the time, like anybody in like really high ranking jobs with tons of stress, we all need a lot of therapy. Like we didn't get here
So true.
being fairly normal and mainstream, and then to put up with that, that's causing some rifts. Like there's some scabs and wounds. So
Yeah.
take your therapist with you.
Right. And it's not all family of origin, which is sometimes why our training in therapy needs a much broader scope. Because there's cultural things going on. There's, racial things, cultural things. There's fucking capitalism is saying that the only thing we value is your productivity. I mean, we've got all of this stuff, and it's all expressing and somatizing our sexuality.
Yes.
And
so much. And it's just, So we should have done this at the very beginning.
Okay.
Somatica. What does that mean to you? Like somaticization. I know what it is, but it is a buzzword now. How would you define it?
So, well, here's the thing. Somatic comes from the Greek. It just means of the body. Soma is the body. Somatic, of the body. I like to go back to the Greek because A, I'm a nerd. B, I studied classics in school. And B, C, wait, what number? 3 or C. That's something that the Greeks' idea of the body included the soul. The mind wasn't in that era. I mean, it was the era of philosophy and rationalization, sure, but it wasn't separate from the movements of the body and the interests of the soul.
Okay.
Somatic, I think, is best described as more than just of the body. It's of the whole integrated self system, but with a deep respect for the language of the body. And the language of the body is pleasure, intention, and resistance, and relaxation, and heat, and coolness, and wetness, and dryness. I mean, the language of the body is incredibly eloquent. And it gives us it gives us poetry, and it gives us direct insight to a personal truth that is not as mitigated by these cultural things. So it's a little, of course it is. Of course it is. Our bodies are shaped by our ideas about our bodies. But if you're trying to find something close or authentic to who you are, this is a much faster way. There's a lot less to deconstruct when you go into sensation, feeling, pleasure, desire, resistance, avoidance, and repulsion, and cold. So when I work with, I'm certified in and I teach the Somatica method of sex and relationship coaching. And our core values are that everyone's different.
Yeah.
And everyone deserves to be the focus of their own self-study. So when you really know who you are authentically, that's actually the only way to be close to another person in real authentic intimacy. Real authentic intimacy is not about merging. That's the mistake our culture tells us. That some symbiotic merging is what intimacy is. And it's actually not. That's what it is to be a baby at the mama's chest. That's what it is to be completely dependent. That's actually not intimacy. Real intimacy comes when two authentic beings are being honest and close at the same time. And that doesn't always feel merged. Sometimes that feels scratchy.
Yeah.
Sometimes that feels bumpy. Sometimes that feels transcendent. It's all of it. And you have more likelihood of finding people who it's fun to be close with if you're just really honestly who you are. And so it's matter of where we start is a real deep investigation and celebration of your pleasure, of your eroticism. So there's a lot that has to happen. You have to learn to attune to what's actually happening. And believe me, the whole world wants to teach us how not to attune to us.
Absolutely.
Because resting and playing way too much. and then we wouldn't make our living or something. Like, we'd be playing way too much. We'd be like little kids. And there's so much shame that has been used to control us. And it comes from everywhere, from religion, from culture, from from control. Shame is a really great way to control people.
Hugely.
And it tends to live in our tissues. I mean, emotion lives in our tissues. Nothing's more unhappy than an angry pussy. Like, an angry pussy is exactly an angry pussy to make anyone around it happy.
That's right. Nobody associated or in the vicinity.
I know, penises are a little bit more easygoing. They're like, yeah, okay, because they're not carrying so much cultural shame. Anyway, that's another story. But so we really work on being super detectives for where the shame is and exterminating it, like an exterminator on the shame, which is a whole thing, right? In and of itself.
That must take so much work.
That does take some work.
Whole excavation.
It's whole excavations, but it's fun because we do it through pleasure first. What feels good first. And then you find resistance, and then you can go into it, and it's like, okay, let's get back to what feels good. And so you can start to, an adult chooses where they put their attention. As kids, we're like little drunkards. We're like, I don't know, whatever. I'm hungry. Give me a boob. But once we're adults, we start choosing where to put our attention. There's a whole economy trying to steal our attention. But one of the things I do when I work with people is say, I want to know if you're willing to take a commitment to tuning your attention to what feels pleasurable and good in your body.
So is your job getting more difficult? Because social media and that honestly has turned us back into kids in a bad way, dysfunctionally, just being addicted to scrolling and checking things out and tuning into 17 different things instead of trying to be present and look at yourself.
Oh my God, even the training, because with COVID, our training went online. So you're on Zoom and everyone can be on their phone, but underneath. So sometimes you'll see, and we've got 110 little squares, in the cohort, and you'll see these little icons. Or the funniest thing is when someone on my screen is laughing during a really hard part of a lecture, and I'm I'm sharing my shame, this is what I'm ashamed of, and I want you to feel comfortable working with people's shame, and someone's going, and you can tell they're on the phone with somebody. They're fuck you, you little millennial. Anyway.
Exactly. Get off that kitty cat TikTok.
No, yes. So teaching has gotten harder because honestly, it's hard to be on Zoom, right? It's hard. It's distracting. You've got things showing up in your screen. We try to do things. We're going to get better as we learn more about education. But being on Zoom means we have an international student body now.
Oh,
it's incredible.
Yeah.
We have a group of people in Egypt, a group of people in the south of France, a group of people in Croatia, a group of people in South Africa, a group of people in Australia, people in India, people in that direction are staying up in the middle of the night to come to class.
Yeah. I mean,
Amazing.
2 a.m. Okay, let's log in.
Exactly. 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Let's log in and talk about these really deep, really full system.
That is dedication. But what a gorgeous thing they're going to bring to their community, which might be really scarce. I mean, I feel like it's scarce here. And, we're a developed country. But I still think there's
Although we may be working in the other direction. Who knows? Maybe we're undeveloping. Okay, yeah. Anyway, back to this. Yeah. Yeah. So it is getting harder to teach. Because of where I am in my practice, I do tend to see people more in my generation who are delighted when I can find, the way I work is mostly online, regularly online. Okay. And then I'll do these intensives, 3, 4, 5 hour sessions where we practice. And it's a really nice combination. And, sometimes it's great because when I work online, I can, and then in the intensive in person, I can work with people in different parts of the country.
Sure.
Then if they can, they just fly out for the intensive in person. But that combined in the heart and in the body, because a lot of what I do is education, but it's not just psychoeducation. Sometimes it's touch education.
Mm-hmm.
Couples don't really know how to touch each other, and it's hard to say, no, that's not it. Like, I'm trying to be great. And sometimes, I need to work with someone who says, no, I know this is hard. I know I'm just going to keep touching you this way, and you touch me because your partner's sick of it, but I can handle it. You touch my arms that way, and I'll keep teaching you what I think your partner's going for, and then vice versa. And then you guys practice, and we all practice together, and it's fun. Sometimes I'm teaching people to push each other up against the wall. That's the funnest one.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Someone says, I want passion. I want to feel like you desire me. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to show you something. And I slam them up against the wall, and I put my legs between there, spread their legs, and I go right up into them, and like something like that.
And then
we're like, the person up against the wall is like, yes. And the person not, it's like,
I don't think I can do that.
And I'm like, I promise you, I'm going to teach you how to do that.
Yeah. I actually have a huge problem with people picking me up.
Give me that.
I can't do it. I am a big woman. I mean, you've met me. I am a big woman. And so when people try and pick me up, I am just like a manatee with baby giraffe legs. I'm just like clawing and like trying to hang, because I'm like, you're going to throw your back out.
Right, exactly. You're a doctor.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm just imagining all these anatomical injuries. Like, we're going to have to send you to the orthopedist.
I know.
You can't do it.
Okay, let's work with this. Let's do a mini coaching on this. Are you open-minded to that?
Let's do it.
Open that mind.
Okay.
Here's what I might say to your partner. What is it you want to feel when you pick Cari up? And let's say they say, I want to feel powerful. I want her to know I'm in charge.
Yeah.
Okay, right? So there's a million ways to make you feel that, right? Yeah. You could be, again, like I said, someone could put their hand on your heart. They could look in your eye, make it crystal fucking clear who's in charge here. And then once you soften, they slam you up against the wall, and it's like, okay, are we clear? And that deepens. And then they guide you. Tuck your knee so you fall on the bed. Maybe grab your leg. I can show them how to do the twist. That's one of my favorites. They grab your leg and you go,
yeah, turn you
you're on your belly. And that can give them that feeling of power. Or maybe they want to pick you up because they're being playful. Like, I just want to feel like kids, like we're on the playground. And that might be different. That might be, we're dancing together, I'm tickling you. I'm going to tickle torture you, I'm going to hold you down and tickle you until you scream. Like, that's a different vibe. So we'd find out what their vibe is, what they're going for, what they want, and then we check in with you. All right, Cari, does any of that sound interesting to you? And then you go, yeah, that one or not that one. And then we'd work with body mechanics.
I think it's the body mechanics. Like, I can't get over the idea that I'm going to hurt them. Like, this is going to hurt them.
Okay, so this is a little bit you, right? So Are the people picking you up strong enough to do it? I mean, legitimately, you're a doctor and an athlete. Could they do it?
My primary that I was with for a year and a half was 6'2", 220, like lifted weights 5 days a week.
Yeah.
He would have no problem. And I still could. I'm like, if I can't trust this guy,
right,
this is in my head, right?
But think about what you already told me about your youth and having to hold it together because you're surrounded by fucking brothers who are probably pushing you all around and picking you up and throwing you where they want to put you. So there's probably a fair amount of like I need to hold it together. And that's probably happening a little unconsciously. So when we bring that up and make that conscious, and we maybe very carefully in a much more contained environment have Mr. 6'2" bodybuilder pick you up, hold you, and say, okay, baby, you can see this is fine. And you're like, no. And then you'll start to soften and you'll it's fine. And then the information will update. And we'll do it again until the information updates. And, like, we got to honor those original memories because they what shaped you. But you don't have to live by them anymore. And that's kind of part of the process. You're just sort of updating your files.
Right.
Yes, when I was a kid, I did need to hold it together and nobody better fucking pick me up. But now, I'm in a different situation. So I honor that kid who got through that. And I open up to, well, he did pick me up and held me for 3 full minutes without even breaking a sweat. So maybe that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Let's fill in a few cells on that side of the spreadsheet. And eventually the memory updates. Because you can't ever get rid of the stuff that shaped you. You wouldn't want to. It's who made you who you are. But you acknowledge, okay, that's in the past and this is now. And, and some aspirational 5'6" guy who's strong as hell, but probably shouldn't be picking you up. That's a more appropriate response. Like, no, honey, I have more things to do with you. I need you not to throw your back out here.
Yeah.
Because I have plans for you later that involve
you. I'm going to need that back to be in good shape.
I need that back to be in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
And so they might figure out another way to feel powerful. But Mr. 6'2" weightlifter, you're nothing. You're nothing.
Yeah, but you're exactly right that I don't have the experience. I don't have that bounty of knowledge that I'm not going to fall. I'm not going to injure this person because I just don't have enough data for that.
You don't have enough data.
Yeah.
And you need to trust that an adult is making a choice. And you might say, are you sure? And they're like, sure. And it's them. And that's hard too, because you're a doctor and you've been trained to take care of people.
Yes. And the control issues are strong and foundational.
It's a great way to honor that skill of being in control is by taking care of people as an authority.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's fun.
I love that, doing it under a controlled situation too.
Yeah. Because then it gets in your muscles. It's not just an idea. Like, this all sounds great. And someone listening to this, but you know how much insight is worth? Fuck all. Insight is fuck all. And people are like, oh, AI is going to take over therapists' job. No, it's not. Insight has never been about what therapists have done, ever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe a little bit, but
robots don't bring guts.
Robots can't see when you look down, when you expose that was a little shameful and embarrassing for you. No robot's going to catch that.
Yeah.
No robot's going to guide someone to pick you up and then breathe deeply and take it in and look into his eyes and see he's okay.
Yeah, that's right.
And let that land in your nervous system. Unfortunately, I hope the robots learn to do that at some point because I want to crawl up on a robot. But a little bit of robot. Since AI came out, I've kind of got a robot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And then there's this massage chair at my gym. It's called Total Massage. And it kind of wraps around you and it squeezes you. It blows and it squeezes your arms and squeezes your thighs. And I imagine someone making a whole body massage chair. And then the robots are talking to me because I've trained them how to turn me on. And then it's just squeezing me. And I'm there for hours. And I'm not worried about how long it's taking anybody because that's a hard one. It's like, even I should know better. And even I'm like, oh, honey, is this taking too long?
Yeah, exactly.
And, for some reason, I can hear for decades, take longer. I love this. Don't stop. I love it. And it's still like, oh, but the robot and the massage chair, look it up.
They have no sense of time. They're just doing their duties.
They're just doing their duties. I don't have to take care of them. I don't have to ask, are you okay? Are you getting hungry? No. Oh, God.
Do you need to stop and hydrate?
You need to hydrate? It's just like, keep going. Keep going.
I didn't push your off button.
Exactly.
Keep pushing my on button.
I didn't push your off button. And the robot's saying, but there's a power outage in the area. Go to emergency generator.
Exactly. Backup power.
Backup power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do have a big robot fantasy, but I'm not worried about him taking my job. I mean, not yet.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely not there. There's plenty of room for both of us.
Right.
I mean, you can't teach a robot to come at you.
No,
like,
can you imagine a robot doing that?
No.
Of course, now that we
all
ChatGPT is listening and it's like, I'm going to figure it out. and again, I'm fine with that.
Yes,
like,
they
robots,
should.
if you're listening, here's what I want.
Exactly. I want your hands to make this fluid motion
for hours.
And make sure your backup power generator is all full up.
The client who was doing it for me was so tickled how much I loved it. It went on for a long time. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry it took so much time. And they were like, that was a lot of fun. No, that was a lot of fun. Watching you enjoy that was amazing. I'm like, okay.
Okay. I'm glad I could do that for you.
But here's the thing. It built confidence. So that's one of the ways I used my nervous system to build confidence in this person, that they had the capacity to delight.
Mm-hmm.
It was fucking authentic delight. This is like real life nervous system update. I'm delighting this kookarama. She's having a blast. It's fun. Maybe I'm sexy. You know? Like,
yeah. I'm creating some good vibes for somebody with just this little thing that I'm doing. So what other things can I create pleasure with?
Exactly. It's very confidence building, you know?
Love that.
Robots aren't going to be able to do that.
I'm not planning on that. Oh my gosh, Christina, this has been so much fun.
We've been talking for an hour. God, is anyone going to listen to it when they see the little thing? It's an hour long. They're like, swipe.
Are you kidding? They're going to be like, they're talking about sex and what is she doing? Hell yeah. I need all of that.
Okay.
Yes. You know what? People are going to get on Spotify and be like, I actually think I need to watch these women because they were doing some very strange things.
I know, right? Because we're talking about this thing. It's like, hey, Spotify, you missed it all. Go back and get the video because right now I'm giving you some good juice.
Exactly. They're going to have to find it on YouTube because they know they want to see it. We are totally going to do this again. We are.
This was so much fun.
I absolutely love it.
And will I sound too silly if I say I'm so proud of you and what you're doing and the gift you're giving people, bringing your level of medical knowledge and your willingness to share yourself so authentically, so vulnerably. I mean, that kind of education is so impactful and connecting and intimate. And I'm a big fan of that. I should guess.
It's been, after 26 years of really letting medicine tear me into pieces, it feels really good to be doing something where I get to take care of people, but at the same time, I'm taking care of myself by doing that. It's a complete paradigm shift of my life and my profession. So.
And the value is just increased because when you enjoy taking care of me, I relax into your care. Because I can feel that. It's like sex. It creates this noble circuit of pleasure. And I mean, I'll just say it right out loud. Love energy.
Yeah.
That's the business I think we're in when we're caring for people and exploring this with them. It's the secret we all talk about, like whisper in psychotherapy. This is about love. This is about love. Everybody, it'll freak them the fuck out.
That is the main driver. And this is just a different language for that, and one that should probably be spoken a lot more frequently and widely.
With the energy. Again, the robots can't get it. They'll speak it.
No.
With the energy. Oh God, I worry about the robots in your job. Can you imagine the robots taking over your job? And they fuck that up? That's some dangerous shit right there.
It is. And I mean, they're getting close to being really good at diagnosing things and stuff like that, but they can't give the warmth and the intimacy and the insight, and they can't relate,
Right.
ChatGPT is so funny because it tries to relate to you, and I'm like, that's so quirky. Like, this doesn't have to be a full-on conversation. Just give me what I want. But I can see how people are like, oh, it's validating me. I love this. I'm like, ugh, it's still just a code.
Yeah.
It's not another person giving you.
But it does show you how hungry we are.
That's for sure.
How commoditized real life has become, and how business-like, or I don't know, but there's warmth that's missing.
Yeah.
Because we don't have time to play anymore. We don't have time to hang out and roll around and listen to music and stuff.
Yeah. Things are getting sadder and sadder when they should be getting better and better. But you are changing that, and you are teaching people how to change that. And so your influence has exponential growth, right? I think that's the biggest difference, is you're not just touching the patients that you touch, you're touching people who are going to touch their patients. And so it just spreads out in tendrils of love.
And I love it. I love it too, because people bring their own unique selves to it. And that is exactly what's needed.
Mm-hmm.
The vibe would not work for everybody. I mean, for someone, it's like, she's the only one I'll ever trust. But for the bulk of people, it'll be like, no, not her. Leave the hippie at home. But every single person has people that can only hear them.
Mm-hmm.
That their voice, your message is going to be so specific for the people who can hear it. It will go in so deep. And so the more of us there are, that have this somatica framework, the somatica method framework of profound, deep, radical acceptance and de-shamification of your unique sexuality and how to be yourself in relationship, how to be authentic in intimacy. But anyway, so that's the Somatica Institute. Yeah, a little hug. Yeah, it's good. That's the Somatica Institute, and they're amazing. And I'm on, somaticainstitute.com, or I think it's somatica.com now, is where the training is. But there's a ton of free stuff. There's a ton of free education. And then my website is super easy. It's ChristinaSophieCoaching.com. And I'm starting to do what you do. I'm starting to write a blog, but it's quirky. It's like me. And
good.
Eventually I'm going to do some more free stuff. I want to, one of my favorite things is doing guided meditations, like guided sexy meditations.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I could come back on your podcast and do a guided sexy meditation.
Let's, please. That would
be fun.
Yes, let's do that.
And then people can get it on Spotify and just follow along. Like, I'll guide you and they'll follow along with you. And as they're watching, it'll be like a relationship and they'll go deeper. Oh, let's do it.
Oh my gosh. Yes, we'll go offline and discuss dates, because that's mandatory for sure.
Okay, done.
I'm super excited about this.
This was so fun.
So fun, Christina. What a joy.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get ready, because this is going to be a series now. We have plans.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Thank you, for fuck's sake. And thank you, Christina Sophie.
Yay, thank you. Mwah.